Exclusive.
Meet Andre A.J. Hernandez Jr. He was a 13-year-old that was said to be driving a stolen car with two other teens on June 3rd when they encountered city police officers who was responding to reports of a shooting near the southwest side neighborhood where he lived. San Antonio Police Sergeant Washington Moscoso made a statement that Officer Stephen Ramos shot the teen after he rammed the vehicle into a patrol car, putting fellow Officer Ramos in danger. But Hernandez's mother and attorney representing her said the video footage they saw showed a panicked boy who tried to maneuver the car and rolled forward slowly before hitting the car. Ramos opens his door, gets out with his weapon drawn, and in a single motion shoots over his door into the vehicle and fires one time, according to the family's attorney Lee Merritt, who is representing the boy's mother, Linda Espinoza. The gunshot happened so quickly that there was no time for the officer to acquire a target. The boy then opened his door, put his hands up, and collapsed to the ground. He was pronounced dead at the hospital minutes later. Police officials showed clips of the body camera footage to Merritt and Espinoza on Monday after the family reached out to local activists for help obtaining access to the video. Ramos, who has been with the department for 3 years, has been placed on administrative leave. He could not be reached for comment, but this is not the first time Officer Ramos has been involved in a shooting. The officer who has alleged to kill this 13-year-old boy earlier this month should have been kicked off the police force months ago, said the sister of a man who was fatally shot by the same officer last year. Deborah Felder, whose brother was Johnny Pina Montez, was killed by Officer Stephen Ramos in March of 2021. She remains in touch with the Baxter County District Attorney's Office over the past year, pushing them for more information about the internal investigation into her brother's death. But that was to no avail. SAPD and the DA's office were on notice that this guy was a hothead. She went on to say, "You were aware of it even before the killing of this 13-year-old baby." The San Antonio Police Department did not immediately respond to the request for comment about the Montez case, but in a statement, the Baxter County District Attorney's Office said it has not completed the review of the case so that it can be presented to a grand jury, which will determine whether there is sufficient probable cause to send the case to a trial. It would be inappropriate for our office to comment on the facts of the case at this time. Felder, who disputes the police account of her brother and this 13-year-old boy's death, said it was no doubt that the officer should have been fired after the 2021 incident, or at minimum, gone through some type of training and extensive counseling on dealing with the public and when or when not to use deadly force. The police have said Ramos shot and killed Montez after Montez threatened his estranged wife with a knife. Officers yelled and told him repeatedly to drop the knife, but he did not comply. Another officer on the scene unsuccessfully attempted to deploy a taser on him. Montez swung a knife at him, prompting Ramos to fire his weapon. But Montez's sister, Felder, said that the story did not match up to the 1.5-minute police footage of the incident that the department allowed her and her husband to watch. As soon as she saw it, she told them that this was unjustified and unwarranted, and he was just standing there at the door. There was no reason for you to shoot him.
Exclusive.
Felder said her brother Montez was a veteran who had a history of mental illness and was in the middle of a mental health crisis when he picked up a knife. Felder said Montez's wife, who was separated from him at the time, called the hospital as well as police because she was more worried about him hurting himself. He threatened to kill himself almost a year before and went through another mental health crisis, and police at the time took him to a state hospital and then ultimately went to the VA hospital and was receiving treatment counseling there, so his wife called them, the police, because he was in kind of a meltdown for a week or two, or even before he was shot. Video of the shooting has not been released to the public, but in a statement, the San Antonio Police Department said it does not release police body videos when domestic violence is involved or suspected, unless the department chief determines it deserves a law enforced purpose. The San Antonio Police Department confirmed that Ramirez killed both Montez and Andre. The department said he was placed on paid administrative leave and underwent an internal investigation in the earlier case, which found that the shooting was justified. He then returned to duty, San Antonio Police Sergeant Washington Massacre said, adding that there was standard practice. Stay tuned as we keep you updated with this horrible story and more here at Prime Crime Network.